Bathsheba Smithen is a 2002 graduate of an Achievable Dream. She's a Mary Hughes Harley-Davidson Scholar. She is a 2006 graduate of Virginia Tech with a degree in biology and a master's degree from George Washington University in health systems management. Now tell me that would have been possible without you guys. She is now working as a life skills counselor at the Seed Public Charter School in Washington, D.C. She is married to Brian Smithen, and they live in Bowie, Maryland. They have a 4-year-old son named Zaya. They also have legal custody of her 2 younger brothers, Caleb and Israel, aged 16 and 18. I am very proud to introduce Bathsheba, who has a message for you, something important to say.
Thank you, Mr. Sigaloff, for that beautiful introduction. I would also like to thank the rest of the Achievable Dream family for allowing me this opportunity to speak before you. As a child, I was fascinated with shadows, how they follow people secretly, keeping in line with every movement made. I would jump, hop, skip, and wiggle my fingers just to see if I could stray away from it. Sure enough, it always followed and never missed a beat. But what was strange was that it would disappear into the darkness, and in the daylight, it would always return. I was perplexed. This shadow was pretty mysterious and quite emotional, hiding and coming out when it pleased. Was it always with me, or did it abandon me at times? Finally, reality hit, and I came to this realization. My shadow was a part of me that I could only witness in the light. I began to overcome the darkness by providing my own sources. I could pull out a flashlight or even a nightlight to make bunny and butterfly images on my bedroom wall. The more light I had, the bigger my shadow would be. Later, that shadow became my perception of life. I could intercept the darkness like I did with the flashlight by focusing on God, writing poetry, reading books, and participating in sports. Many times, I would escape reality by focusing on things to come. The more light I brought to my situation, the bigger my future would be. However, growing up in the tenets of downtown Newport News, in a single-parent home, sometimes made it difficult to see past that darkness. Block fights, drug dealers, prostitutes, and gunshots were not an irregularity. To overcome the darkness, I would need more than just a few sources of light. I needed a bridge to close the gap between my past and future. Achievable Dream became that bridge that would allow me to cross over. I continue to use God, writing, poetry, etc. as a means of light and transportation because everyone knows it's hard traveling in the dark. Times were stressful. I was the middle child of 9, often neglected and required to take care of my 4 younger siblings. I was practically a mother at the age of 12, cooking, bathing, and getting my siblings ready for school. The question was never, Sheba, did you get your homework done? Instead it was, Sheba, are the boys asleep? Did they take their baths? What's ironic is, in order to live in the light I greatly longed for, my priority had to be my schoolwork. With the support of an Achievable Dream, education became one of my most valuable possessions. I'll never forget the one saying we said every morning, I can go to college if I work hard. The more I repeated this statement, the more college became a reality. Not only that, but being exposed to activities such as the opera, tennis, and plays opened my mind to a whole new world I wouldn't have experienced. An Achievable Dream was covering serious ground. In hopes of a new beginning, this foundation gave me the support I needed to endure hardship. I thus carried on my duties at home and pressed forward. Driven by both fear and passion, I graduated from Warwick High School with a 3.78 GPA, receiving 2 diplomas, my regular high school diploma, and the International Baccalaureate diploma. I was at the breaking point because I was going to Virginia Tech and leaving the past behind. Yet, my shadow did not leave. It instead became a representation of my past that I carried with me everywhere I traveled. While in college, I was rejected by my mother. From freshman year until now, I have not been able to enjoy mother-daughter companionship. For 4 years, I was going from house to house during my school breaks since I was not allowed to come home. I couldn't let that stop me, but poetry, books, and sports did not hold me, and the light was fading. Darkness was encamping, and I was left with no other choice. I, myself, had to become a light. My intrinsic motivation and support from An Achievable Dream pushed me to academic excellence. In 2004, the McNair Scholars Program inducted me into their program, and there I conducted research at the Virginia Bioinformatics Institute. 2 years later, I graduated with a biology degree. No family member attended the graduation. However, friends and mentors from An Achievable Dream came in my support. Following undergrad, I enrolled in George Mason for a master's in health policy. I finally understood my purpose. The darkness I had experienced was needed for me to walk into the light. My passion for healthcare derived from my personal experiences, and I could be a light to others. They could use me and my past to intercept their darkness. On my journey, I got married to my lovely husband, Brian Smithen, who is sitting in the audience. He assisted me in my journey, and toward the end of my 2 years at Mason, my mother abandoned my 3 brothers. This was my opportunity to let my light shine. Without hesitation, my husband and I embraced my brothers. In the first month or so, they were able to see me walk across the stage to receive my master's and an honorary award. I believe that now they are starting to understand the meaning of their shadows. An Achievable Dream has been my bridge, and now members of the Virginia Symphony and Miss Marsha Staples will perform to a video that tells a story.